going to claim it for my own.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Holiday appropriation. It's a new term created here on the podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Night with the Youngs. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We are in the month of December, and this month we're doing holiday movies. So this week we are doing A Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm one of your hosts, Britney.
And I'm Nicole.
I'm not sure why I slowed my speech there. I wanted to make it very dramatic. But yes, if you guys are new to our podcast, we are a group of sisters.
A group? Just the two of us.
We're a group of two sisters who are going back and watching our old childhood movies that we grew up with and seeing how they affect us as adults. And we want to answer the question, do they hold up or are they just nostalgic? Like I said, this week we are doing A Nightmare Before Christmas from 1993, directed by Henry Selick, starring Chris Sarandon and Catherine O'Hara. We did a Catherine O'Hara movie last week, Home Alone. Hopefully you guys saw that podcast. If not, we will put it in the description. Listening to it on our podcast platforms, go ahead and download that one. It was a fun one. We're happy to be back with A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is about a group of Halloween-esque monsters who their leader, Jack Skellington, has decided he's over Halloween. He wants something new. He stumbles across a door that leads him into Christmastown, and from there he decides he's going to make Christmas better. Him and his Halloween Town friends are going to go ahead and put Christmas on. They kidnap Santa Claus, and they go and do all the Christmas traditions, scares everybody, and in the end, Santa Claus has to come in and save the day. So, I don't know, let's just jump into it.
Sounds good to me.
Oh. So, before we even start talking about the movie, I wanted to ask, do you think this is a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? I think it's a hot debate.
Yeah, I could go either way. I lean more towards Halloween.
Why?
I just get more of a Halloween tone from the movie.
Because it's dark?
Yeah, it's very dark. The characters are scary. The scenery takes place in like their Halloween town / cemetery. It's just I get more Halloween than I do Christmas.
I thought about this really hard, and you know what? I think it's both. I think it's a Christmas movie and I think it's a Halloween movie, but I think it depends on what season you're watching it, and that's what you gravitate towards, because I do watch this during Halloween and I'm like, oh, it's a Halloween movie. But then I watched it this week for Christmas and I'm like, oh, this feels very cheerful and very spirited and light. So it made me think that it was a Christmas movie. No.
Well, I didn't get that. But
all right. Well,
but then again, Halloween's my favorite holiday, so that could
true.
be. That probably has a lot of.
You're already answering lightning round questions?
Oh, sorry.
No. Okay. I do get that. I guess maybe it depends on the person or, like I said, the season. It is a brainchild of Tim Burton, and it is a very distinct Tim Burton style.
Yeah,
like all the characters, all the pointiness of everything, like the roofs, the distortion of everything. It has such a Tim Burton style to it. I actually went to a Tim Burton LACMA in Los Angeles. The museum had like a Tim Burton exhibit a couple years ago, and we got to see beginning drawings of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was like the same that he started out with, but I thought it was interesting because Jack Skellington is actually in Beetlejuice.
Interesting.
Do you remember the scene where Beetlejuice comes up and he has like that carousel around his head when he's fighting?
Yes, I do remember that.
Jack Skellington is actually the little ball on the top of that carousel.
Oh, interesting.
Like, if you didn't know he was there, you wouldn't have noticed him, but I do think it's kind of cool that, like, this was an idea that Tim Burton had when he was younger and kind of just, like, grew it over time, and then it became Nightmare Before Christmas, because this stop animation is, it's a feat. Like, it's genius. Like, it took apparently 1 week to shoot 1 minute of this movie.
Wow.
Like, this movie took over a year to shoot. Because it's just every inch you gotta change.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for that.
Nope, neither do I. But it looked beautiful in the end.
It did, and I love that it kind of started a trend of bringing stop animation mainstream. We still have stop animation, but it's kind of been taken over a little bit by CGI.
Yeah.
And this was like all puppetry. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But anyways, let's get into it a little bit more. So we open up. Halloween has just ended, and Halloween Town is celebrating another job well done.
Yep.
They did a great Halloween. They're singing this amazing song, This Is Halloween, that gets stuck into my head every single time I hear it. And we meet Jack Skellington, who we find out is like the king. He's the king of the pumpkin patch, but he's like the king of Halloween Town. And he basically tells everyone job well done, but he's decided he's just a little tired of Halloween. He's, over doing the same thing over and over again. He wants more, which seems to be a theme in all the movie that we do. Like people wanting more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They want to change.
Yeah, he wants a change. So he goes for a walk with his little ghost dog Zero, and they end up in this forest, which I thought was really interesting because I didn't notice until this time around, but like when Jack throws Zero a bone, it's his rib bone.
Oh, huh.
Did you notice he reaches into his pocket? Yeah, he reaches into it, or his coat, takes out a rib and throws it to Zero because he's a Skellington, so he can just play with those bones.
Yeah.
But Jack goes through this forest through the night and ends up in this circle of trees. Circle of trees that have all of these different holidays on them. They got Thanksgiving, Easter, St. Patrick's Day.
That's odd.
Valentine's Day, Christmas. And Jack is drawn to this Christmas door. It's a Christmas tree with the ornaments, a nice red bulb that he goes and twists, and it ends up being a door, and he falls through. And he ends up in Christmastown, which I think is very funny that it's a town. It's not a country, city, state, world. It's just a
Christmastown. Just like Halloween Town.
That's true. Touche. That is true.
I'm surprised they don't just call it like, this is the North Pole.
Well, I don't have an answer for that, but that's true. That stumped me. I mean, maybe because it is, like, I guess if he went through the Thanksgiving door, would he be in Thanksgiving Town?
I guess. Easter Town.
St. Patrick's Day, he's just in Ireland? Like, not St. Patrick's Day Town, welcome to Ireland?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that is a good question. I don't know the answer, but he ends up in Christmastown, and he is just excited about what he sees. And he starts singing the song called What's This? And this is where I get a little bit interesting, because he's going through and asking, like, what's this? What's this? There's something in the air. What's this? But he starts saying things that he shouldn't know. Like, he starts saying, like, children's throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads. He shouldn't know what snow is.
Because he didn't even know what Christmas was.
Yeah, so everything associated with Christmas he shouldn't know. Or like, oh, they're hanging mistletoe and now they do a kiss. He shouldn't know what those are. So like, where's he getting this info from?
He just already knew it, I guess.
I mean, come on, guys. Let's be consistent with what Halloween.
You're not supposed to read that far into the movie.
But I'm an adult now. As a child, I was like, what is this? Oh, it's snow, Jack. Now I'm like, my dude, how do you know?
True.
That's the whole point of this podcast. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. But he goes through and he sees all the elves making toys. He sees the snow sledding penguins, which is also strange for the North Pole. But okay.
Aren't there penguins in the North Pole?
There's no penguins in the North Pole. Fact check?
Really?
Wait. I feel like there actually is no penguins in the North Pole. I feel like that's a South Pole thing.
We'll have to look it up. We'll have to Google it.
We'll have to Google it, and we'll let you know in Southland. We'll let you know in the light round if there are penguins in the North Pole. But there are penguins in this North Pole, in the Christmastown. And he goes through, and he finally just gets frustrated. He's like, what is this? And he bumps into a pole that says Christmastown. And then, lo and behold, out comes Santa Claus. And that's...
Santy.
Yeah, Santy. Santy's there. Santa Claus. Or as he calls him, Sandy Claus. Because, he's from Halloween Town, making everything scary. But while Jack is in Christmastown trying to figure everything out, back in Halloween Town, we meet this character named Sally. And Sally is very sweet. She's very kind. But she also is she's undead. She's a zombie, and she's been sewn together by this doctor, Dr. Finkelstein, who's a play on Dr. Frankenstein,
Mhm.
obviously. But he has made Sally, and she wants to go out and explore life. And in order to do that, she keeps poisoning him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I laugh when I'm like, oh, she's kind, but I'm like, oh, she's a poisoner.
Yeah.
She
On the daily, they make it seem like.
Yeah, she poisons this man every day so that she can leave his
Mhm.
house. But while Jack is there and he's going through his turmoil, she kind of goes through a song of her own where she's like, I have feelings for you, Jack. I hope that you're doing well. You know, when can we be together? And in the cemetery, while she's singing all this, she's collecting her nightshade and all these things that she's going to poison Dr. Finkelstein
Mhm.
with. And he keeps, like, getting her back. Like,
Yeah.
she keeps going home to him, which I think is very interesting. It's like, if you're out, girl, be free.
Mhm.
You know,
She can't.
she can't be. But I think the interesting thing about Sally is a lot of women, or I don't know if you've noticed this, but as we're older, a lot of women at Disneyland have Sally gear. And I've spoken to some people while I'm there because you're waiting in line. People like Sally because she was like the first Disney heroine that's not perfect. You know, she's not gorgeous, she's not pretty, she's not just trying to find love. You
Mhm.
know, she is scarred, she's flawed. And I think a lot of women gravitated towards that because it was like she's going against the Disney ideal.
Mhm. I didn't really
Well,
realize that, but
it's true though.
yeah, it makes sense. I see that more now as an adult than I would have as a child.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. I think it's a lot looking into a lot deeper. I mean, yeah, as a kid I was just like, oh, she's in love and she poisons people.
Yeah. Which doesn't really match up.
But I'm like, she's looking for more.
Mhm.
The mayor of Halloween Town goes up to Jack's door and basically is knocking on the door trying to find him, talking about let's get started on the plans for next Halloween. I think it's very interesting because every holiday movie that I've watched, it's like the next day after the holiday is over, they
They're
immediately
preparing.
start planning
Mhm.
for the next holiday.
It's going to take a whole year.
But like, don't they get a break?
Guess
No
not.
vacation?
That's their job. That's
But
what they
like,
live for.
does Halloween Town not get November 1st off?
And only November 1st?
Like, sure, get more days off. I mean, labor laws, but like, they're not going to take a break. Job well done. We're now going to rest for a beat.
I guess not. But my thing too is, what are they doing on Halloween? So they go back into the world just to scare kids? Is that their purpose?
I thought that too. I have no idea what they're doing on Halloween. I think it's
It reminds me of like
know.
Monsters Inc.
What do you mean?
Like where they have the monsters. They're just their whole purpose is just to scare the kids. Like to get the screams. And like it seems like they're just this one night they come out and they're just scaring people.
But like, where do they scare people? Because they're not handing out candy for trick-or-treaters, that's for sure.
I have no idea.
Are they just jumping out randomly and I don't know.
Bushes? Yeah, I have no idea.
Or are they all the ghosts that apparently come out from?
Maybe.
You know what? I think this is a great time to pitch. We need a Halloween Town movie that's not the original Halloween Town that's already out. Like, I do want to know, what are these guys doing on Halloween?
Yeah, the other side of it.
What's the other side of it? Nightmare in Halloween Town. The sequel. Do it, Disney, because we need to know.
Yeah.
But everybody in town basically realizes that Jack is gone. They're all very worried that he hasn't showed up. It's unlike him that he's not the day after Halloween, starting Halloween again. So the mayor has everybody go and search. I mean, they searched some crazy, like behind the Cyclops' eye.
Mhm.
They're searching in the dead lake. They're searching in the cemetery. They can't find him. Finally, Jack shows up and he wants everybody to know what he's found. Like, he comes in like in a snowmobile, sunglasses. He's got a huge sleigh with stuff behind him, which makes me wonder two things. One, who gave Jack all these things in Christmastown?
I think he stole them.
Did anybody see him?
I don't think so. He was in and out.
Because he comes back with a huge heap of stuff and a snowmobile.
Mhm.
It's got to be hard to get a snowmobile through that door.
Yeah. Plus, the other thing you notice too is it's all colorful.
It is.
Everything he's brought back or he's writing is all full of color, which is
Yes.
Christmas.
Halloween Town is very gray, black, orange, and he comes in white, Christmas, red. Christmas is not a color. You know, he comes in with Christmas colors. But my second question then leads, how does he get back from Christmastown?
I have no idea.
Because when he arrives, he literally gets dropped from the sky into snow. So I'm like, where's their doors there? Do the doors only appear when you need them?
Yeah.
Or are they there all the time?
He obviously knows where the door is. That's how he got back. Because, not to skip ahead, but later in the movie, he finds another door to go back to Halloween Town that's just randomly placed.
That's true, but he's never been to Christmastown, so how does he know that the doors are there? I just need more information here.
You just need an imagination.
I have an imagination.
You don't need all the answers.
I have an imagination so much so that I want to know what this door looks like. Other people will be like, yeah, he found a door. I want to know what it looks like. Where was it? Is somebody guarding the door? That's what I want to know. That's my imagination. But Jack comes back to Halloween Town and he tells the mayor, get a town hall together. I want to show everybody what I've got. And everybody shows up again. Sally drugs Dr. Finkelstein. She cooks him a bowl of soup. He doesn't trust the soup at first.
Yeah, because it has frog's breath.
Yes, which I think is like an ingredient, but he knows it's to cover up the worm's wart. That really stinks. But she basically does a whole rigmarole where she tries the soup, but she has like a spoon with holes in it, and he trusts that it's not poisoned. But like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, this girl's drugged you habitually, and you're still trusting her soup.
And asking her to make stuff.
Yeah, why are you asking? That's very true. Why are you even putting her in charge of the cooking?
Yeah.
But she does escape, and she goes to the town hall, and this is where Jack shows everyone what he's found in Christmastown. And he tries to explain it in another amazing song, and basically they question everything. Like the presents, like, here's a pretty present wrapped with a bow. It starts with a box, and they're like, a box? Does it have locks? Is it covered in pox? You know, they try to Halloweenize everything that Jack has brought back. Which again, in this song, makes me wonder, who showed Jack all this stuff in Christmastown? How long was he spying on elves to understand what a present is?
A while, apparently.
It's just not tracking for me. But eventually he gets to the point where everybody gets really responsive when he talks about Sandy Claus. And he makes Santa seem to be this like super evil leader that has like claws for hands, and he like snatches little kids and does all these things. And that's what people get excited about and what they're excited about for Christmas. But Jack walks away from this town hall and is like, they just don't get it. They don't get the feeling that I had in Christmastown.
But the feeling he gets is almost, it's joy.
It is joy.
It's like joy, happiness, Christmas time, which is something that they get it during Halloween, but I don't think it's the same.
Yes, and I actually think that this is kind of a genius part, and I don't know if they did this on purpose or thought about it when writing this movie, but like, as an adult, I've realized the holidays can be hard for people.
Yeah.
The holidays can be dark, and a lot of people go through a lot of different emotions during the holiday besides just joy and happiness. And in this moment, that's what I felt like, because here's a group of people who are trying to put darkness into holidays or into Christmas. And here's Jack being like, no, Christmas is supposed to be this one way. Christmas is not supposed to be this one way. You know, it's however it affects you. And it's interesting that he's trying so hard to get everybody to feel the joy of Christmas.
Yeah.
When all they know in their dark little hearts is dark Halloween.
Dark Halloween.
Well, Halloween's not joyous.
I love Halloween.
All right, you dark Halloween heart. I don't know, I'm emphasizing the undark so hard. But Jack goes home and he starts to study Christmas. He's reading all the nursery rhymes. He's reading all the lores. He gets equipment from Dr. Finkelstein to try to run these experiments that are useless. He just...
Yeah. So there's a part where he's reading like the scientific method.
Yes.
And then comes back with a bunch of beakers and test tubes. Like, I don't know what you're gonna...
I'm glad that you knew the word beaker.
Science actually was a strong subject for me.
Okay. Sure.
And like, what are you gonna do with that equipment? There's nothing.
He's just like melting candy canes and like putting stuffing from a bear.
Which is just gonna be what?
Well, I think it's kind of the thing where he realizes that Christmas doesn't need to be understood, it needs to be experienced.
Mhm.
Because after he goes through all this, he realizes, I'm going to do Christmas this year. I'm going to make Christmas the way I think it should be.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say this, and people are going to think I'm like a little bougie sounding. This feels like holiday appropriation to me. Like, Jack doesn't try to understand the history of any of the Christmas traditions, the Christmas lores. He just takes another culture, another custom, and makes it his own, which I think is fine. But he doesn't do anything to honor the culture it came from.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't even think he really makes it his own to me. It's literally the exact same thing. He's just using Halloween things instead of Christmas.
That is him making it his own. Because if it was going to do what Christmas is, or what Christmas is according to this movie, he would have given out teddy bears and candy instead of like dead turtles and tarantulas.
Yeah. But they're still toys in the boxes. It's like the same concept.
I know, but like it kind of just feels like to me like, you know, so many things that are going around now, just like thinking about like what's happening in our world right now. Like I just think about like that TikTok trend where Hailey Bieber came out and said like, I'm doing brown sugar lips, and it's brown
lips.
lip liner and some gloss, and like Latina communities and Black communities came out and be like, girl, we've been doing this forever. You can call it whatever you want. Our community has been doing this for years. You can't just now come in and say you've invented this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, holiday appropriation. Like, that's what Jack is doing. He's essentially saying, I'm taking everything I got in Christmastown. I'm not going to learn the history. I'm not going to learn the meaning behind it. I'm just going to take it and turn it into something that I think is better. And I'm going to claim it for my own. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Holiday appropriation. It's a new term created here on the podcast. But while he's going through and figuring out that he's going to appropriate holidays, aka Christmas, we meet Sally again, who she's really worried because Jack has shut himself up in his tower this whole time, doing his experiments. And she creates a little nice meal for him, and she brings it to him by jumping out a window, and her whole body breaks.
Yep. And
she can just sew herself back up.
Yeah.
Why wasn't she doing this the whole time? Why is she poisoning people?
It's very true.
If you can just jump out the window and sew yourself back together and walk away, you don't know how to hurt anybody else.
That's probably a lot more work than just putting something in someone's soup and being able to walk out the door.
I guess. It's just, it was a bit dark for me this time watching it. Yeah. But she delivers the meal to Jack, and she goes and sits down and starts picking a flower like, I love him.
Yeah.
He loves me not. And she gets a vision, and the flower turns into a Christmas tree and lights on fire.
Yeah.
And she realizes, like, this is going to be a disaster. But Jack gathers the town again and gives everybody assignments and tells them, we're going to do Christmas this year. We are going to do, again, all these traditions, but we're going to make them our own. So he tells people, like, the band's going to be the carolers. The vampires are making baby dolls. Like, everybody just starts joining in and making Christmas toys and presents that they're going to take to these little kids.
Yeah.
And this song is, well, it's my favorite song. Making Christmas. Mostly because I love it. Is creepy. And I will say, I made Shane watch this movie. He watched it for the first time as an adult. And I got really nervous because I didn't want him to think that I looked like that fat baby with his eyes sewed closed during this scene. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so that character also reminds me of 13 Ghosts with, what is that character? The mother and the dying baby? Or the
I think it's the mother and the child. It's just the mother and the child.
Yeah, that character looks exactly the same to me.
Well, he's a morbidly obese man who walks around in a diaper in that movie. And yeah, this baby is morbidly obese and is wearing a diaper, but I got, for some reason, very or insecure and was like, I hope he doesn't think that I look like this baby.
Why would you even think that?
No, specifically in the part where he's like singing the song and then he like, well, his eyes are sewn shut, but he's like, making Christmas, and he like rotates his head and does this like look. He also looks like the baby in the TV show The Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
And I also felt like I looked like the baby.
Well, yeah.
See?
I see that. The Nightmare Before Christmas one.
Well, the Nightmare Before Christmas one was just like an insecurity I had in like my new relationship where I was like, please don't think I look like this morbidly obese dead baby. He doesn't know that. I'm revealing this, I think, for the first time. But
well, no, now.
If he's watching, please support us, love. But yeah, this baby's also like put on a leash by his mother, which
that's why I see 13 ghosts for some reason. Yeah.
Which I'm also just like, I think this might have been ahead of their time because I don't remember kids on leashes back then, but I definitely have seen children on leashes now.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's not kind. It's like around his neck. It's not like
yeah, this is a real leash. Like,
he's a dog. He's a dog. But the town is making all the Christmas things. Mm-hmm. Jack Skellington brings in a little group of trick-or-treaters. They're the town troublemakers. Yes. They're called Boogie's Boys. Yep. Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know what's really exciting? Is they're actually voiced by Catherine O'Hara, who plays Sally. Paul Rubens, do you know who plays? Pee Wee Herman.
Oh.
And then Danny Elfman, who is actually the composer, or he's the composer of all the songs and the lyricist of all the songs in this movie. But he also is the singing voice of Jack Skellington.
Interesting.
I never knew any of that as a kid, but I love knowing that now as an adult.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Especially because Catherine O'Hara, like, she plays a very sweet and kind poisonous. And then she plays this like little demon girl.
Yeah.
Oh. It's just cool to see her range.
Yeah.
In a movie. Anyways, they are the problem children in town. They are the trick-or-treaters, emphasis on tricksters.
Yep.
And Jack has given them a very special job. He needs them to go kidnap Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. So Jack can play Santa Claus and nobody can deliver toys. And he tells the kids, go to this circle of doors, which again,
in the enchanted forest.
Yeah, they must not. I questioned it earlier. Do they just appear when you meet them? But I guess they must be there all the time because they find the doors.
Yeah.
And Jack says, bring back Santa Claus, be nice to him, bring him to me. Mm-hmm. And these kids start plotting torture.
Yeah.
The song that they sing, Kidnap Santa Claus, let's lock him up, I want to draw straws. Yeah. Like, they're planning to torture poor Santa Claus.
Yeah. And feed them to the boogeyman, basically.
Yeah, feed him to Oogie Boogie. And we go through and... Which I actually have a question about Oogie Boogie. Is Oogie Boogie their leader, or is Oogie Boogie their prisoner?
I think he's their prisoner.
Because in the house that the Boogie Boys live... But they're the Boogie Boys. But the house that the Boogie Boys live in... Oogie Boogie lives in their basement, but they basically give him food and like prisoners through this like long chute.
Mm-hmm. It's like they don't let him out until Halloween, maybe. Because I don't get the impression that he's able to walk out anytime he wants to.
So who is Oogie Boogie then?
Isn't he the boogeyman?
But then why isn't he the king of Halloween Town? Why is Jack?
Mm-hmm. And Jack makes several kind of references where
they're not
like he basically has him under watch.
Lock and key. Yeah, but like so they're not friends.
Yeah.
This is all the things we could answer in a sequel. So Oogie Boogie, leader or prisoner of the Boogie Boys, we have not confirmed nor denied. Mm-hmm. The kids finally go out and they go find the doors. During this time, we see Halloween Town get all their toys ready. They're making some crazy things. Mm-hmm. Like hats out of bats, dead turtles,
severed
heads, little Russian dolls that have like scorpions in the littlest doll. They're really going ham on trying to put Halloween into Christmas. Mm-hmm. Then this is juxtaposed with different scenes of the North Pole or Christmastown all the little elves making Christmas cookies and teddy bears and rocking chairs. And it just goes back and forth. And it's really cool to kind of see, like, this is what Christmas should be, and this is what Christmas is about to be.
Yeah.
It's a really fun back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe even Christmas versus Krampus. I'm not really sure, you know, if that's a good juxtaposition to say, but like that's what it feels like. So Oogie Boogie Boys comes back to Jack. They think they got him. They open up their little sack, and inside is actually the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, poor little Easter Bunny, who doesn't talk, which, why not?
Because he's a bunny. Why should he?
I don't know. I just picture him as all the holiday characters to be able to talk, even if you're a bunny.
I didn't really have a problem with it.
My dog's in the background. She's having a dream.
She's talking. She said, get him. But yes, the Easter Bunny comes out. He's visibly shaken. Jack tells Oogie's boys, you have the wrong guy. Take him back and then bring me Santa Claus. This is a very scary moment for me. This movie never scared me. I don't think anything is scary in it. I don't think it's creepy. I don't think it's weird. I actually really love Tim Burton's style and have always loved Tim Burton's style. But the scary face that Jack Skellington makes is actually quite terrifying.
Oh, where he says don't.
Well, this part, he like pulls his face apart and you can feel his teeth, but it's his eyebrows and his eyes. They go into this, like, our YouTube watchers can see my hand motions, but everyone on the podcast platforms, his eyebrows do this like slant that just is, to me, just really shakes me in my boots. I don't know why, but like I have a hard time looking at it, and even as an adult, I'm like, that's pretty creepy to me.
I didn't get that.
Dark Halloween heart. I'm the Christmas joy. Dark Halloween heart. Oogie's boys take the Easter Bunny back, but they then
during that whole time, Jack Skellington is actually very nice about everything. He's like, treat him nicely, apologize.
Yeah. But he knows he has to be because he's about to take over. He's about to culturally appropriate the holiday. Yes. He knows he's got to be nice to Santa. But Oogie's boys go and get Santa. They come back with him, and Santa is so confused. He doesn't know why he's there, especially because it's Christmas Eve. He's like, how could I take a holiday on Christmas Eve? This is unheard of. And the only thing that like Jack can tell him is like, oh, you don't actually have claws for hands. Which I kind of thought would be him saying like, oh, maybe this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But it's not. So that's very interesting that he still continues to go on with holiday or Christmas, even though he doesn't realize it's what he didn't think it was.
Yeah.
So here we are. Santa Claus is kidnapped. Jack Skellington tells Oogie's boys, keep him safe, keep him comfortable, and they decide the most comfortable place in the world is to be fed to Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, the dungeon. Underground.
His weird Vegas casino dungeon, which I don't understand.
Like
but
a gambling.
Yeah, he's a gambling man, says Oogie Boogie.
It's like in the sewer, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like in the depths of some place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
his character looks like something, and I just can't put my finger on it. Like, I've seen that character before, and I just can't figure out where it is.
Nicole, wake your dog up.
No, she's sleeping. She's having a dream.
She's interrupting our podcast. I love her dearly. She's my favorite, but like, girl, quiet on set.
Quiet.
Yeah, now she's quiet. He looks like highlighter. Somebody just took a highlighter to everything.
Yeah. No, like that actual character, like the face is somewhere.
Oh, his face.
Yeah, I just can't. It's in a movie somewhere. I just can't figure it out. It'll come to me. It bothered me the whole movie, though.
Ooh, if it comes to you, please let me know, because I don't recognize it anywhere besides like Oogie's Bash at Disneyland now.
Oh.
Which are very hard to get tickets to. If y'all know the inside scoop on getting Oogie Boogie tickets next year, please.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, at California Adventure, they have like a whole Halloween party where the villains come out, you dress up after hours in California Adventure.
That's cool.
We are Disney adults. Yep. But we're not like obsessed. We're cool Disney adults. Yeah. But we have an inside scoop. We would love to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Santa Claus is down Oogie Boogies. We now have the very historical Christmas story of when Santa went to go take off in his sleigh and a fog comes and Rudolph comes to save him. But now it's Jack Skellington. He's dressed as Santa. He has a little sleigh. He has some bone dead reindeers that Dr. Finkelstein has Jimmy rigged together.
Yeah.
And Sally decides, after trying to warn Jack that she saw a vision, this is going to be a disaster, she puts fog into the fountain and it becomes very foggy.
Mhm.
And Jack cancels the flight. But then his dog Zero comes up and he has a little glowing nose, which is a jack-o'-lantern. Did you see it?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
If you look very close, it's a jack-o'-lantern, a little glowing jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
It's a jack-o'-lantern. I'm just skipping over one word. And basically does the Rudolph where he says, Zero, light my way. And they take off.
Yeah.
And Jack plays Santa and he starts delivering all these Halloween-tainted dark Christmas presents.
Yeah.
He's releasing snakes into people's homes.
Toys that go after children.
Toys that a duck that like attacks a kid. The first kid actually has a what are they called? Shrunken heads.
Yeah.
Like his parents come downstairs and are like, "What did Santa bring you?" And he just pulls out like a shrunken head. And that to me is like when the movie gets a bit.
Which, you know what that head reminds me of? It's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, those are shrunken heads.
Yeah, that's what I immediately drawn to when I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an appropriate Christmas gift for a young child in this culture. I'm not sure about others, but like this kid is traumatized, and as he goes through each house, Jack is giving all these different types of toys, and people are calling the police, saying like, "We're being attacked by our Christmas toys." People are locking up their houses, turning up their fireplaces, hoping that Santa won't deliver. And Jack's oblivious. He thinks everybody loves it. They're watching through some like Wizard of Oz mirror ball fountain water. A well that like everyone in Halloween Town can see what Jack is doing. And they're cheering and they're hooting and hollering.
Except for Sally.
And Sally. Sally's like, no, I gotta go find Santa Claus. Yeah. So she goes to Oogie Boogie's and unsews many body parts, tries to distract Oogie Boogie by putting her leg out, and like she was very uncomfortable. He like goes and like takes off her shoes and tickles her foot. Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Also, consent, sir. Ask me if you can take my shoe off and tickle my foot. Just because I put my leg out, don't mean you can tickle my foot. Ask.
Everyone has their own fetishes, I guess.
But consent isn't a fetish. It should be asked every time. It was a bit much. But she ends up getting captured by Oogie Boogie as well. And Jack is still thinking he's saving Christmas or making Christmas great. Finally, the army gets involved and starts shooting Jack out of the sky.
Yeah, like actual missiles.
That's intense. Like, not even like we're trying to stop him. We're trying to straight up kill him.
Yep.
And they finally hit the sleigh. Jack falls from the sky and lands in a cemetery.
How appropriate.
But did you know, this is the first time I ever caught it. I've seen this movie a lot, and this is the first time I ever noticed it. Jack is laying on this statue, on this mausoleum. It's like an angel with a book. And he's laying across the book. Zero comes over and reattaches his jaw.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I never noticed it, and I noticed it this time, and it really skeeved me out.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it was a bit much. But basically, Jack has realized, I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, I've ruined Christmas.
I've ruined Christmas. I've made this worse instead of better. And he looks at the Santa hat.
And he realizes that he's meant for Halloween.
He's meant for Halloween. Yeah. Halloween was his holiday. He's got some good ideas. He's going to go back to Halloween.
Yeah.
But he looks at the Santa hat and he's like, I hope I can save Christmas. Finds that door you were talking about. Opens up the doors of this mausoleum and ends up in a mausoleum in Halloween Town. Goes to Oogie Boogie. Sees that Oogie Boogie has Santa and Sally tied up and about to dip them in bug juice. And basically like, Oogie Boogie, we're about to throw hands.
Yeah.
They have a cute little musical number.
Which, did we even mention that this is a musical?
It is a musical.
Yeah.
The music is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's so catchy. Everything. It's a great musical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say it. Like, the soundtrack is great, and I think it's stood the test of time for sure.
Yeah.
It's making a comeback every year. I feel like more people get into the music. Danny Elfman did a great job writing the lyrics, composing the songs. But Oogie Boogie and Jack battle, and in the end, Jack basically pulls at one of Oogie Boogie's strings and like says, "How dare you treat my friends?" Which is kind of funny because he's the one who captured Santa
Yeah.
Claus. Yeah, but
he's
like
had
you
a change
said,
of heart.
he does, and at the beginning, he does say like to the Oogie boys, keep him comfortable.
Yeah.
He didn't say torture the man.
Yeah.
He said keep him comfortable.
Yeah.
But he pulls out one of Oogie Boogie's strings, and Oogie Boogie ends up being a man made out of bugs, and without his burlap sack
To contain it all in.
he dissolves into this bug juice
Mhm.
and dies. And basically, Jack apologizes to Santa, saying, "I'm sorry that I took over Christmas." And Santa says, like, next time you want to take over someone's holiday, do it a different one.
Yeah.
But don't do that, Jack. No.
Listen to Sally is what he says. She's
Yes,
the only
he
one that has any
Sally's the only one
sense.
that makes any sense. But this is what gets me. Santa then plugs his nose and farts, I think.
What?
Santa plugs his nose and sparkles come out his butt and he flies about. Why didn't he do that in the first place?
Who knows?
If Santa can magically fart and get out of here, what is he doing here the whole time? Like,
Well, half the time he's tied down.
true. Then I thought, is it because Jack takes his hat? And he
Oh,
got
that's where
really
the
upset
magic
that
is.
Jack, yeah.
Mhm.
He got really upset that Jack took his hat. So I was like, is that where the magic is? But like, if he had it the whole time, Santa, what you doing here?
Yeah.
You like the drama? Like,
Something new.
oh goodness. But it is a very sweet ending because it seems like Santa has forgiven Jack, because he returns back to Halloween Town and says Merry Christmas and brings snow.
He says Happy Halloween.
Does he say Happy Halloween?
Yeah, and then Jack says Merry Christmas to him.
Oh, that's true. And the snow starts falling, and everyone starts freaking out and gets that joy.
Yeah.
And I like that because it is still their own joy, but it's like bringing something new instead of completely changing Halloween Town.
Mhm.
They just get to experience something new in Halloween Town.
Yeah.
And that to me was very sweet.
Mhm.
And it's a good message. Always forgive. You may mess up, but I'm going to forgive you.
Yeah.
You know, and respect people's cultures and stop appropriating their stuff.
Yep.
Agree. Yeah, 1993, that's what they were thinking of. But Jack and Sally at the end have their moment in the graveyard where they confess to each other that they're meant to be together.
Yeah.
And they share a very sweet kiss, made a little creepy because Jack Skellington's
arms are so.
I don't want to body shame nobody. Do not body shame anybody. Love your bodies. We love your bodies. Be yourself. Jack Skellington's proportions are out of whack.
Yeah.
His arms and legs are so long.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. Like, he can hug Sally and then hug himself at the same time.
Yeah.
His arms are so long.
Mm-hmm.
But that is where we end the movie, with a sweet, sweet hug and new relationship and newfound glory for the stuff that they have, which is Halloween.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, do we think that this movie holds up, or is it just nostalgia?
I'm going to say this movie holds up.
Yeah?
I think it does. Yeah.
I agree. I think that this movie holds up, and I think that this movie, we actually did watch it, or I watched it quite a bit. Maybe you didn't join in every time.
Yeah, I didn't watch it as much when we were little.
But I think that it's become a cult classic, and it's found a new popularity in the generations now. It's definitely become a huge thing, and Disney has embraced it a lot more now than they did then.
Yeah.
And it's become a bigger classic than it was. So, yeah, it's found a new life. I love that. Very Halloween themey, a new life. From the dead to the living.
I don't know if it's that dramatic, but
it could have been. But with that, that is the end of our Nightmare Before Christmas episode. Guys, thanks for being here. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Next week, our Christmas-ish episode after Christmas, we're doing Elf, and we have a certain surprise guest. I won't oversell it, but come in and check and see who it is. We have a lot of fun doing that one. We already shot that episode because we needed to do it for timing purposes, but we had a lot of fun, and it's going to be a good one. So everybody on YouTube, please go ahead and give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, even if it's just say hello. We would love to see all of your lovely faces and who you are, all of you who are following us and been watching our movies, or our videos, our podcast episodes. Sorry, wow, I'm getting too intense. We appreciate you guys being here. Everyone listening on our podcast platforms, thank you so much for downloading and subscribing to our podcast. Be here next week for Elf. It's going to be great. Until then, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. We hope that you enjoy it with friends and family. Thank you for being here with our family. We really do appreciate you guys. Are you going to... Nicole, any follow-up? Any follow-up for the fam?
I thought you were ending it there.
Oh, you can end it. Take it home, Nicole.
As Brittany said, clearly. No, but we really do appreciate all of you watching. We do hope you have a very happy holiday and a Merry Christmas, and we will definitely see you next time. So be sure to watch Elf. Bye, guys.
Bye.